Hey, it's Tami Gaines. Welcome back to Tami Talks with another episode where we're talking all about building your resilience. Why is this so important? Well, think about your own life. Are you facing any in your face uphill challenges that you have no idea how you're going to get through or grow through? Um, Listen, let's take a look at the world today. We have so much going on. Uh, Politically, with climate change, with women's rights, equal rights throughout the globe, people protesting in all sorts of areas. Listen, you can choose to lay down and be walked over, or you can choose resilience. And that's what Tammy Talks is all about, choosing resilience. You fall, you rise, you thrive. So today, what I want to do is talk to you about the process that I developed by going through my own challenges in all areas of my life, by the way. Um, they talk about, I like the new word now, housing insecurity. Back in the day, it was like, we have no place to live. I've done that. I've done broke. I've done divorce. I've done single momming. But what I've done is I've done it all well so that I could do the next thing even better. So that's what resilience is all about to me. So I created this process called Relentless Resilience. And it's a 7-step process that will help you grow through your challenges, not just go through them. So if you'll indulge me, I thought I would step through each of the 7 steps. And I want to say going in, this is no magic recipe. Some of the steps will take you a few days. Some of the steps may take you a few months or even a few years. My goal is to teach you the skills that you need to do it faster and so that that learning sticks. So that when the next challenge comes, and it will come, you will be ready for it. And I'm really talking about 4 areas. Um, Really 4 areas that this is a mind game. This whole resilience thing is a mind game. So, the first area that all of this falls into is resilient thinking. How do you think like a winner? How do you think like a survivor? How do you not give up? Resilient thinking is the beginning of all of this process. And I know that you all have it in you to do it. The second piece is managing your emotions. So, I've been in airports and I've seen people fly off the handle because they're late for the flight and they can't catch it. Why are you screaming at the flight attendant because you were 40 minutes late for your flight? Same thing in life. We let our bosses get to us. We let our colleagues get to us. We let our kids get to us. So, this whole bucket of managing emotions is something that I'd like to spend quite a bit of time on because I want you to develop emotional intelligence, which is way more important than intellectual intelligence. EQ is more important than your IQ. I will take somebody that has balanced their managing of their emotions. I would rather have somebody on my team that knows how to manage their emotions more than anybody that scored a perfect score in the SAT, for example. Emotional intelligence, EQ, is the new IQ. You heard it here first. Third bucket are having effective relationships. So, this is broadly whether it's relationships with your partner, your spouse. I'm in a committed relationship. My boyfriend, relationships with my kids, relationships with my coworkers, relationships with my colleagues and my business partners. Relationships are huge and they permeate every part of your life. So, we're going to talk about how you have effective relationships. So, what does that look like? It means communication, it means effective listening, it means being able to give feedback in a way that can be received at a time when it can be received. So, everything surrounding relationships. I'm probably not going to talk about like online dating and stuff, but who knows? Maybe we'll have fun and get into that one day. Last bucket, building on your strengths. You already have things that you are great at. Maybe you're a fantastic time manager. Maybe you're a great cook. Maybe you know how to like take 3 hours and turn it into 3 days worth of effectiveness. It is critically important that you recognize your strengths embrace your strengths, and then we build on your strengths. We don't focus on weaknesses. I think that is a waste of time. What I really want to do is help you realize what you're great at right now and make you even better and build some skills around your existing strengths to make you stronger and more resilient. So, those are the four buckets. Let's talk about the process. So, it's a 7-step process that I literally created out of my own life. Um, I've worked through tremendous challenges in so many areas of my life. And what I did was I distilled them all down into these 7 steps. These are the things that I did to get through every single challenge. So let's take a look at these. The first one is all about resetting your radar. So we all have an internal radar. It's like our North Star, right? It points us back to what we're familiar with. That could be familiar habits, familiar mindset, familiar relationships. You might be asking yourself, why do I always pick this kind of boss? Why do I always pick this kind of job? Because your mind wants familiar, it wants to be comfortable. Your brain's only job is survival and protection. And the easiest way that it can do that is by making sure that you stay in your comfort zone. So I'm challenging you as the first step in this process is to reset your radar. Let's take a good look at who you are. Like self-awareness is the first thing. What are the habits that you continually fall back into? How do we break them? Um, Self-regulation, like how do you manage yourself in a challenge? So essentially, this is all about expectations. We're resetting your radar to have different expectations than you're used to so that you could move to a place where you've never gone before. I hope that makes sense. By the way, feel free to drop into the live feed here any comments, questions. I'm happy to get to them during the show. So let's go to the second step, which is what I call real reality. Real reality. Basically, this is seeing things as they are, not worse than they are, not better than they are, but literally as they are right now. And that requires a step back and a lot of honesty with yourself to say, what actually happened? Right? There's the drama version of what happened, whatever your challenge is. But then there's just the facts of what actually happened. There are certain players. Certain players don't even belong in the story. They're just extraneous, adding drama for no reason. So when I talk about real reality, what actually happened? Who were the players? What did they want? What was your reaction? What was their reaction? What now, if you just stick with the facts, what's sapping your energy? What are the key decisions that need to be made? So, this is step 2, which is all about real reality. It is literally looking yourself in the mirror and saying, these are the facts that I have to deal with. I'm taking all the emotion out of it, and I'm going to see things as they are, not better than they are, and not worse than they are, just simply as they are. So the third step is what I call raw emotions. I touched on this at the beginning. This is all about EQ, emotional intelligence. How do you develop a thought process that's positive as you go through some of the most challenging things in your life? Because it's a decision. You can decide to be negative or you could decide to be positive. So I am challenging you that this stage of raw emotions, we're really going to do a deep dive into emotional intelligence and how you respond in different situations. Um, I want you to be more positive. I want you to be more empathetic. Empathetic, which basically means seeing things from somebody else's perspective and feeling what they might be feeling to help your emotional journey. Compassionate. You know, some of the worst things have been done to me by the people that are closest to me. I don't know if you've ever experienced that, but at some point you just have to say to yourself, Maybe this is just the best they can do. So if you accept that somebody's doing the best that they can at that particular point, it helps smooth the journey for moving ahead. So raw emotions is all about, like I said, empathy, compassion, forgiveness, which is huge. Forgiveness is huge. This is also the stage where we realize what we control and what we can't control. This is where you decide where you're going to pick your battles with raw emotions. So let's go on to the next step, which is becoming resilient. This is literally the process of becoming resilient. We strengthen our mind. Sometimes we strengthen our body. We avoid thinking traps. What are these traps? They could be events where you could be set up for failure. They could be beliefs that you have that will suck you back. By the way, back into step 3, step 2, step 1. This is all about moving forward. So becoming resilient is managing beliefs and consequences, sharpening your problem solving tool set. So no matter what you're faced with, you go right into like, here's my options. Here's my options. You don't get stuck in the mud of indecision. You don't get stuck in the mire of, I can't believe this happened to me. So this process is very intentional. Each step builds on the step before. Each step builds on the step before. If you conquer the step before, you keep moving. But becoming resilient basically puts the first 3 steps to the test. You need a process to overcome hardship and adversity and reassess really what a challenge is. I love when people complain to me about problems in their life, and I'm like, really? Is that the worst thing you have going on in your life? They didn't have your favorite salad dressing in the organic aisle, and now you're cut off at the knees and you can't get out of bed. Thank you. I will take that any day and twice on Sunday. And if you're like me, you guys are facing real stuff all the time, every day. This phase is where we help you become resilient. We help you develop the mental agility to look at things from a different perspective, maybe from a different angle, maybe from one of gratitude. Ooh, that would be different, right? Anyway, that all happens in this 4th step. We really start to round out your resilience. So let's go to the 5th step, which is all about rituals and relationships. So we do a deeper dive here. We talked about resetting your radar because, listen, given the choice, your brain will go to what's familiar. But what's familiar doesn't always serve you. Those people that you've had in your life, they don't always serve you. The relationships that you choose, they no longer serve you. As you're going through something new, a new challenge, you need new habits, you need new relationships. And listen, I will tell you, I'll be the first one. Old habits die hard. I was going through something recently because we always are, but I was going through something a couple of weeks ago and I called somebody to get their input, and it's the same input they always give me, which is not helpful, and it's not in my best interest, and it's driven by their agenda. So when I talk about rituals and relationships, I'm talking about resetting everything, weeding your garden of those relationships that no longer serve you. Getting out of relationships that don't serve you. For some people, this could mean like, I need to find a new job with a different kind of boss, or I want to be an entrepreneur, or I need to reset my relationship with my kids. We need to interact in a different way. So this is really about, it's about, what do you really want? It's about communicating. It's about building and maintaining strong relationships and building and reinforcing new habits that serve the new you. So let's go on to the next one. Step 6 is reinforcing resilience. You will spend not just time with me, but time on your own. And yes, I will give you homework that you could do in between these episodes. But you've worked really hard to let go of the old. You've worked really hard to see whatever your challenge is in a new perspective. I am asking you to work equally hard to reinforce your resilience. You need to take certain steps to make sure that you don't slip backwards, which is very easy to do. So this is all about staying the course. Things like this podcast can help you. Connect with me on social media. You are going to love some of my guests. You're going to love all of my guests on the podcast. But the guests will help you also reinforce your resilience. How do you stay resilient? It's like going to the gym. You just got to work that muscle, your resilience muscle. And by the way, if you don't want to work it, life is going to work it for you. So even though you're in this particular challenge, you're going to grow through this, and another one's going to be right behind it. But that one, better watch out because you have new tools to handle it. Last step. This is deep. Get out your paper and pencil. This is going to be gold right here. You could put this in the bank. You ready? Last step. Rinse and repeat. Literally rinse and repeat. As I take you through these different phases, you're just going to get better and bigger and stronger. And we're never going to invite challenge into our life. We're not going to say, yeah, bring me the next challenge. No, we're not. We're just going to say when the next challenge is presented, we're going to do these first 6 steps again, better, stronger, with new tools, with new people. And again, this podcast, I'll be doing events, live events, self-directed courses. It's all for you to rinse and repeat better. Life gives you hits. You were meant to take hits, but you're meant to recover from them better and stronger than before. So I am super excited to present to you the Relentless Resilience process. Like I said, every episode we're going to take you through one of these 6 steps. Some episodes we may spend more time on. I think people are entirely interesting and have great stories that we can learn from. So I am looking forward to taking this journey with you. Again, I encourage you to interact with me through social media. You can post your comments here on the live feed. But listen, at the end of the day, there's only one thing that matters. You fall, you rise, you thrive. I'll see you the next time.